Oh, hello. Good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time zone in the world you all are, it's your Blue Archive Gacha whale, beginner artist, self-proclaimed, and your boy, Tosanyo. Welcome to the art stream. For today I will be drawing YouTuber fan art again. And with that it will be Laplus Darkness from HoloX, how you pronounce that. Usually I do not stream around those hours. It's like evening in my time zone right now, like 10 PM. And usually around these hours I would be taking care of my gachas. Usually around those times there's like a reset for it. And with where like the daily quest reset and everything, and there I would like take care of it, and if I'm done with that I'm like taking care of like other tasks or whatever, and then go to sleep. But of course also there would be a little bit of a relaxing time, since after you've done all your job, you know, like if you do like the most difficult things first and the easy things afterwards, you know, are like less of a pain. And since in the beginning of the day you have like the most amount of energy left, but the more you reach like at the end, it like depletes. Sometimes you also need like the progression, you know, like now okay, you're level 1, then you go to level 3, then to level 5, and this also makes sense. But I think like doing the hardest things first and then afterwards, you know, relax with the easier ones, and then totally relax if it's like over. I think there's like a charm about that too, you know. Similarly like how we begin like with Monday and then finally get to the weekends. For people who reach Friday night, congrats. It's Friday night. Yeah, it's finally Friday night. And there will be this Yakuza dance meme, where like Kazuma Kiryu and Goro Majima would be like there and dancing in the disco. Usually gacha sessions are not that long, but every time there's like a reset, then okay, I have to like to do extra things. They're not that long usually, you can like do it in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but sometimes I stay like longer, I have like in the background just to like remind myself, yeah, maybe there's like something you want to do, maybe you want to check in on what resource you need. I have like a whole kind of window tab group, you know, on like a lot of miscellaneous tools for like Blue Archive, for example, since I like pretty much been maxing this game. But I can't do that like for every game. I remember like when I played Azalane, I didn't really care that much. At some point I stumbled upon videos, you know, then like some Reddit posts, those would like link to Google Docs with recommendations to like equipments, but it was like kind of hard to like keep track of everything, since there are so many ship girls in Azalane, and some of those are useless, some of those are you know, not used, and I didn't really know what was the recommendation. Like some of the low class, I think, 1 star, 2 stars, I think, like they were like gray or like blue with their color. Those were like pretty good, but then if you wanted to do boss battles, then you needed like, yeah, those the SSRs kind of, you know, or like URs. It was like all about that, and the gacha itself was like not really the issue, but it's just like the gameplay loop and like the farming that is like pretty tedious. I mean, I was like kind of used like grinding in RPG games, you know, like RPG Maker games, like Unreal Engine like games that are made with Unreal Engine, and you had to grind a lot to like progress. And this was like kind of like something because, okay, back in the days, you buy like a game and then you get like 2 days, 3 days, like 72 hours worth of like gameplay out of that, and there's just like a lot of replay value, and this meant like, okay, you made like a good buy. But nowadays, you have like those kind of formula, but like for live service games, I don't know. They're like less and less appealing for me nowadays. Maybe because with time things are changing, like with interests. How about you all? For myself, I think it has to do with like aging and the change of your situation. When you had like a lot of free time, then you could like spend the time on like those tedious tasks in gaming. Be even patient to like, you can even be patient to do all of those things. The expectation it's gonna be worth, you know. You get like to some kind of cool progression story, you know. Maybe the gameplay is gonna become easier because you did all the grinding, you know. In some games you can romance the characters, you know. Like not like in visual novels, which are like pretty much like mainly designed in this kind of way, but you know, there's like something that you get worth out of it. But now that I'm getting older, I do value the time a lot more I have. And if I were like missing time back in the days, I would like sacrifice my sleep so that I have more time to do things. Like a third of a human's lifespan is spent with like sleeping. If we stop sleeping at all, we, you know, if it would be possible that we do not need sleep at all, there's like so much you can do with that time. And back in the days, when I was like younger, I would sometimes do that even, just to have like 2-4 more hours to game. I would like hide under the blanket, you know, have like the Game Boy there. If it wasn't the SP, I would like use a pocket flashlight, pocket flashlight, you could like say that I use a flashlight, you know, but it was like more those lights for like the bike, you know, like front and back side, and it was always like the back side, so it was like not the bright light, the bright white light, it was like the red light. Why even the red light and not the better white flashy light? You could like argue that it was like too bright, and then you could like see it under the from outside, you know, like from the surface when you look like when you enter the bedroom, you know, that you can like see it through the blanket. You could like say it like that. But actually this was not really the reason, and the blanket would like be able to cover that. It was more like that back in the days the quality of like those front lights were like not that great, and today they still are like not that great. Sometimes if I like mount them off the bike, they would like trip and fall onto the ground. Like happens every time, you know, that you have like a device, a tool, and sometimes it's just like slips out of your hand, or you put it on somewhere and then like it gets knocked down somehow. Can happen all the time. What cool was like with those Nokia phones, like those very old ones, they would like be able to withstand that. But those lights for like the bike, they wouldn't. Hey Ramano, welcome to the art stream. I'm drawing Laplus Darkness from HoloX, from the group HoloX. Welcome, welcome. I was kind of like thinking, you know, when I said like whole life, Indonesia, 2nd gen or something like that, like whole life English myth. But like with the JP branch, there's like not much you can like play around. If I say like HoloLife, I'll say like HoloX. But some people don't know like what HoloX is, you know. Also like the thing. Some people also tune only because of the art. But back to the topic, like with the light, you know, when I hid like under the blanket and would like play games, you know, just to like have like 2-4 more hours, like a little bit more time to like game, I would like you know, do that. And because my back in the days, like those consoles, and every console had like those lights, you know, like smartphone screens, you know, you had to like to use a separate light source. This was like pretty much like how you did it back in the days. You see like the description, or if you don't see the description here at the top right, it should like answer your question regarding what you like wanted to like see. I'm not reading out like the chat message, but it's not really related to what I do on stream, so yeah, I'm not reading it out. I have like a little bit of chat rules here also as well. Sometimes I do appreciate it, you know, and then be like, yeah, let's talk about that. But some people are of you, you know, some guys, some of you are like cooking, you know, and be like, stop the cooking. You're setting the kitchen on fire. But yeah, I would be like gaming like this, and it was like not really healthy, to be honest. Like sacrificing sleep like that. When I was like younger, I could do that, and I would be fine. But nowadays I can't really do that anymore, you know. Maybe like the things I did back in the days were like training my lifespan. Could also like be, you know, you never know like really. But what the actions in when you were like young can have for effects on when you become older, you know. Like I need more sleep nowadays. I can be like fine with like less than 7 hours of sleep, but sometimes I do want to try more, you know. Like if it comes to her life, Chloe sleeps like for 12 hours, and then she has always like this really relaxed and carefree voice, and this was like really lovable about her. But Choco Sensei, she slept like at max, her optimal sleep would be like 30 hours, and then I'd be like, holy crap. "30 hours sleep. The beauty sleep, you know? And I would imagine how good of moods you will have after that. And how well rested you are after that as well. I saw like randomly a clip about that, where she shared like the information. Like, I'm sure like the JP pros, they knew already, but me as like a Kaigai Nikki, as overseas pros, this was like new information, and I was like really surprised about that. You could like say impressed, you know, but you know, I kind of want to try too, but at the same time maybe not. The only times where I like slept a long amount of hours were like when I caught the sea. Like, you know, the virus, when like 2020 came, and then there was like the pandemic and we were like shut in. I think like around 2 or 3 years later, I caught the virus, and this was like the moment where I needed to sleep a lot during the day. I needed to rest. Like day 1 was like horrible. I felt like I was dying, and if I didn't like rest and shut down my body functions, you know, I would not be able to survive like that. And then I slept. But I think like this was like about, oh, I slept the whole day. I think like at morning I woke like up. When was that? How long was that? I think like it was like about 22 hours. I slept almost the whole day. Woke like up the next morning. It's like kind of crazy that don't you need to eat? What like about peeing or like pooping? How's the body holding that back, you know? That all of those kind of needs get suppressed when you're like, you know, in bed and like falling asleep. This is like kind of maybe it sounds like reasonable, you know, like why like Choco Sensei is like able to sleep for 30 hours. Yeah, being able to only need 1 sleep is like cool and all, but there are like a lot of like those disadvantages when you don't like sleep really. Like if you're young, maybe you have like a little bit of the buff, but once you get older, you feel like all the pain, and I feel all of that nowadays. But yeah, there's like that thing that you can't like process information properly. Like your focus is like not really there. Maybe like a little bit drowsy. you're like more prone to getting sick. I repeat that really often, you know, like on the importance of like sleep and what after effects can have if you do not do that, really. If you really only need 1 hour, kind of like cool, but maybe like there are a lot of micro moments in your day by day. At least like what I saw like from history about like one man who seemingly didn't need to sleep after he got like shot somewhere near the head, something there. And then since then he couldn't really fall asleep. But for some reason he didn't show like all the unhealthy symptoms or something like that. I saw a documentary about that. But what was like the theory here, you know, was that actually like during the day there are like some moments, microseconds, where he is like sleeping actually, you know, like dozing off, and then he doesn't remember this moment of his life anymore. It's like King Crimson, you know, like where there's a little bit of a time skip and then, oh, what the hell happened, you know, something like that. But yeah, what I read here seems like you have insomnia a little bit. Maybe it's like not insomnia, but it can be like the anxiety, you know. Emotions as well can like keep you awake, and like all those thoughts when you can't really fall asleep, you know, when you like focus on your thoughts. But if your brain is like that, maybe like try to turn on some music, you know, or whatever like works for you. Some people like wear like those eye masks, you know, cover their eyes and everything. Like there are many ways on how to deal with like lack of sleep. You have to find out for yourself. Like what works for me didn't like work for other people. Like I suggested my methods. I mean, yeah, but military, well, good luck with that. There are like a lot of benefits from doing that, but also there are like disadvantages, you know, like pro and cons. But if the pros outweigh the cons for you, then fantastic, you know. And like you have to think about the reason why you're actually joining. Of course, there are like things that are like worrying, you know, maybe you're gonna be sent to the battlefield or some kind of mission, and then maybe your life is gonna be in danger, but you have to like think about why you are joining in the first place and then focus on that. And yeah, if it works, cool. If it doesn't work, I mean, you can go back to your life, you know, and but what I heard like from a friend, well, not from a friend, but like from someone I know. He told me about that he has like a friend who like went to the military, like how do you call it? It's like kind of like national service. You have to join, kind of. And this guy served the military, the German military, for 6 years. And maybe not 6 years, like almost 10 years, like almost yeah, almost 10 years. And from doing his service, he earned a lot of money. Like the military is paying really well. They have a lot of insurances and everything. And now he doesn't serve the army anymore after 10 years, but in exchange he earned a lot of freaking money, so that he doesn't need to worry about that anymore. He was able to buy a house and live there with his girlfriend, build a family, you know, and the guy I know who told the story, he got like envious, you know, like being in a situation where you don't need to worry about money anymore, you know, you can just focus on living your life. And this is like something nice to think about, you know, when you look at your life and you're still like working and yeah. But it's like the sentiment of like you do the hard thing first, begin like with the hardest task, and after you've done the hardest task, you can do easier tasks afterwards, you know, start with the hardest difficulty, then the easier difficulties afterwards, right? And maybe you don't have to do anything anymore afterwards, and then you can just relax and free. There's like beauty in that too, like from hardship and everything. I know like there are a lot of, you have like some questions or like there are some things you want to talk about, but I do want to go in depth in this, you know. I don't really there's like, it's not like I'm doing that slowly or like I'm like milking things out. I like to milk things out, to be honest. Like to drop like every single juice out of it until it's like completely dry. Like sometimes I like read our things, and if I'm not really in a brain rot situation, you know, where I like scrolling something or like listening to music or whatever, but I'm like completely free, like let's say in the shower or like if I'm at work or I'm like drawing here, I have a lot of time to think about it. Of course, I could jump from one topic to the next, but I seem like to not have ADHD. I'm healthy, but maybe I have like other tendencies. Like I sometimes realize things about me that I like think, maybe something is wrong with me. But yeah, canned food. Okay, I can't think much about that, but there's a lot of variety in like military like food as well. Like to be honest, like since food moral is also like a thing, and you need like the variety there. There's like something like that every week is like something new, or they do like every day like a new menu, you know, like when you like think about zombie apocalypse. Of course, sometimes you think like it's really easy to do so, and you can like tackle it on, but you do underestimate like how food, you know, the variety of food, if you ate every day like the same thing, it gets like kind of you know. Of course, some people are like fine with having the same food every day, but sometimes they're like compensation for that, you know. Maybe they're like gamers, and then they just are like, they just want the calories in there so they don't feel hungry, then they keep like more gaming, you know. Sometimes I sacrifice my sleep so in order I can like game more, you know, those kind of things. That there's like always something, but if you are like stripped from all your entertainment stuff, you know, then food can keep your morale up, you know, if it has like variety. Like things like sweets, things like entertainment, like electronics, like radio, like those are pretty important at the end, to keep you like happy and alive, you know. But if you're like unhappy, for example, then it's not really a bad thing. Like if there's like things like unsatisfaction, like worry or whatever, when you lack things, you start to want those things, right? And there's a desire, and then this is like a thing that keeps you pushing forward. I don't really understand her clothing. I'm trying like I did draw her in the past, like half body, but this time it's like kind of full body, you know. Kind of like struggling with the aspect, but I'm getting there. Cat food, to be honest. I play Project Zombie at times. canned food is like pretty good, you know. It's like staying fresh for a long while. It would be like salad, you know, or like fruits, maybe like vegetables. It's like out in the open. It gets like bad pretty fast. And it's like not easy to store those. Canned food, however, those are already prepackaged. It has like for days and everything. Almost years, you know. And I do like me some canned food. But most of like those I had were kind of mid, but to be honest, there was like variety. I tried like if it comes to canned food, I mostly like eat something with fish, you know. Since my refrigerator has like a little bit of an issue there, you know, like in every refrigerator nowadays, there's like a little bit of how do you call it? There's like a slot in there, you know, where you put where it's like, how do you call it, ice chamber? Cooler? Yeah, something of a cooler in there, right? Where you put on, where you can have like those ice cubes, you know? Where you can put ice and everything. Ice? Icy, not the ice, you know, for like seeing, but like the ice, you know, when you freeze water, something like that. I can't, that thing doesn't really work for me, like the cooler, to like keep meat like fresh. I have to like to deal with the normal refrigerator function, and then it gets like a little bit iffy to like keep things fresh. So having like canned food is like a lifesaver for me. Like imagine like I buy like food, I buy like ice, it got like discounted, it'd be like, yeah, let's go. And when I like put like there in the cooler, want to eat ice, and then I only get ice soup, and it's kind of like meh, you know. But I'm kind of like fortunate situation that family members are living really nearby. When I'd be like going next door to them and be like, hey, can I borrow your cooler? Mine doesn't work and I don't want to eat ice soup. And then yeah, I do it like that. Whenever I really want to do that, like with eating ice, you know, like frozen ice, then ice cream, yes. I'm just gonna visit them and like picking up my ice cream. Basically, they're like, you could like say sometimes, you know, family is like there for each other, but in this moment they were like more of like extra inventory for me. To be honest, when you have like party members, you know, like in an RPG, they have like each a function, you know. Sometimes it can be like, oh, it's one more body that can take the attack, right? Or like they're in inventory, you know, like but sometimes, you know, maybe not inventory, you know, when your partner's like a fairy and they're like the size of your hand, then yeah, maybe not so much. But you know, like when you've been dealt some new cards to your starter hand, you have to use it, right? I feel like I have to use the cards like the hand I've been dealt with. But yeah, if people don't know, you can like read it somewhere in the description, channel description. And if you're on YouTube, it should show you from which country I am, you know. Just because I draw in this style, you know, that reminds of like the Eastern entertainment media thing, it, you know, doesn't really mean I am one, you know. A lot of people can pretend that they're like something else, but you know, I'm trying to be like honest. But being honest doesn't really mean you're like a better person and everything, but but I do want to be like real. But I'm not really like the guy also as well to like repeat all the same things, all the same stories. Try my best, but can't like help it sometimes. Actually, keep it simplistic. Don't really want to draw that much. Usually, like when I draw, do like art streams, those can be like about 2 hours long. The fastest I can get is like about 90 minutes, sometimes 80 minutes, you know, but 90 minutes is like around there is like my fastest time. Average is like 2 hours. It can be like exactly 2 hours, it can be faster than 2 hours or like slightly more than 2 hours, you know, but it's like in this kind of realm that I'm not really that slow. Since I'm like drawing in this kind of style, it doesn't really take too much of my time away. And to be honest, I think it is there's an advantage in that, to like save yourself time, but still you are like able to draw and express something. There's like this way where I'm like keeping it like that, since I talk, you know, about the importance of time, the importance of sleep, you know, and yeah, and something has to be cut off, you know, like you have to do like your management of like your resources, and time is like a resource you never get really back. But at the same time, you can be scammed if you like follow this principle too much, that like time is something you can't get back, you know. Let's say that like in Japan they do that a lot. They farm everyone. Like living in Japan, for example, like since Japan was like mentioned, you know, not from my side, but it kind of like aligns now with what I want to talk about, you know, like what I'm like talking about, you know. And then yeah, like in Japan, for example, like, you know, for every guy who likes anime manga, you know, they imagine like, yeah, it's an anime paradise, you know, there's like Akihabara, they're like figurines and this land of anime, but it's not really like a paradise. Like if you like ask any salaryman, salary women, you know, like people who like work there, like in the workforce, they can share you the experience like living here in Japan, you know, like if you like have your vacation there, or you know, you only like watch those things via anime, you know, you have like this honeymoon phase, but once this honeymoon phase is over, well, but most people don't get to the point. But if you ask like the people who live there, you know, then you get like to know like how hard the life there actually is. And besides that, there are like things like maid cafes, there are like things like hostess spas, you know, and those services are like pretty much overpriced. Everything. Then they would like pull out those pop-up stores, you know, limited time events, you know, when they have like those arcade halls there, gacha machines, gacha generals, you know, and those are stuff that does drain your money, and you're getting basically farmed there. With how low the yen right now is, there's like more to lose than to gain for like people who live there. So in a sense, what I want to like say, like when it's like comes about, yeah, time is limited, you never get it back, you know, but money, if you spend your money, you can just go to work and add your money back, right? Buy now, worry about things later, you know. Those kind of things they would sometimes like use for like their their advertisements for like limited time events or whatever, you know. And it's like, yeah, it does work fantastically. But because I'm like from EU and the euro's like stronger, you know, than the yen, it's like, okay, it's kind of fine, you know? I can buy the stuff. But say you're like from the US, you know, they have like something, it goes like in the direction of politics, but I saw like some tweets, you know. This was like kind of like, wow, where people like wanted to buy like HoloLive merch, like they had their birthday, their anniversary, or like something, like some of the talents there. I mean, talents wanted like to buy their merch to support them, you know. Let's say like the base price for like plushies, you know, were like about 80, like together, $80. And that would be the shipping. Okay, normally it's like normal, cost like maybe 50% or 25% of the whole thing. I can do that, but when like when all those things got like calculated, came like out that you have to pay like more than double the price, and it's like, wow, you know. Of course, it's a limited time event. If you money's your worry, you know, money you can earn back, you know, this kind of thing. But you know, it's like the thing where like see that sometimes like all those luxury stuff are not really important. Of course you can support them still in other ways, and the talents do advocate for not necessarily being a kaiju, like a whale, you know, to like, you know, flex with your money and everything, but just be like reasonable and maybe like wait until it cools down. It might be like a little bit sad about the limited time items and stuff, but you know what's best for you, right? Like EU pros have it like, they probably don't have to like fight with those problems, but if it comes to like ordering things from like, you know, like being inside of US, then it's like, I don't know. But okay, whatever. But yeah, if it comes like to visiting Japan, I think like I would like to do that. Like my ototo, my little brother is like currently at Japan, and I think he has seen some cool things. He showed me some photos, and I was like, yeah, sugoi, have fun with you all, you know. He's like there with a buddy of his, so he's not necessarily alone there. But I'm not really sure like about the Japanese. Like I do told them, hey, sumimasen is like pretty OP there, and then you don't really need to like know a lot of like Japanese in order to navigate through there. If you have like issues with directions, be like sumimasen, kono basho doko desu ka? Eki doko desu ka? Something like that. Like where's the train station? You know, where's the bus station? I just say the noun of the thing, you know, like the name of the event, and then hanging afterwards like a doko desu ka? Then they show the direction, you know, or like on the Google Maps they maybe type your things, whatever, or they just point you. It's like pretty much that. And while they're like Japanese, the Japanese culture and everything, they are like not assholes in the sense when like they see people are like helpless and they need like direction, you know, like people who seem to be like lost, they're like Japanese that are like not that heartless. Like a lot of people say, oh, the Japanese are like so all so nice, you know, but yeah, just like you know, it's just like the culture kind of thing. I think like deep inside they like suck it all up, and you know, and like once they get online they have no filter anymore. I do feel like there's a difference between like when you speak Japanese and then if you speak like any foreign language, like that's any other language than Japanese, since I think like it's like pretty cultural, you know, that you're like really polite and usually yeah, you don't stand out, you don't like cause an issue, you know, like when it's like there, hey, if you have any problems, speak your mind, but you don't really speak your mind as a Japanese. Like when you speak Japanese, you like tiptoe around the issue, you know. It's like hiding between layers. When you can just be direct and come to the point. And to be honest, I do really much like it when people get to the point. It saves me time, you know, like I told you like about that time. You will never get it back. Also like one of the reasons why I keep my streams like around 2 hours. I like to keep it like around 2 hours. Perfect would be like around that. 3 hours also like kind of okay. But if it gets any past that, well, for some gaming streams like Hollow Knight, it's like kind of okay to like keep it longer than that. Since this game, I think like this is one of the games where it's like fine. When you miss one stream, check in later, be like, okay, what have I missed, you know? Like it's not a story-driven game, it's like mostly like the exploration and stuff, you know? This is like pretty nice, having all the freedom. Hello buddy, welcome to the art stream. I'm drawing Laplus Darkness from HoloX. Welcome. People like read it as HoloX, but they told that it's like being pronounced HoloX, right? So gonna do that. Draw an X. You see that in the top right? Or if you can read the video description. I had to like decline the offer like from my gamer in chat already. Usually I ignore those. But yeah, since you're like not a regular anything, I'm gonna tell you at the very least. Don't know, like maybe if I do a stream where I accept requests? There were like a time where I did like Passepartout, the Starving Artist, you know? It's like a game that you can like purchase from Steam, and you can draw there. Like Passepartout, the Starving Artist, right? And pretty much in this game is like that you're like homeless. Like out in the streets, and you need to draw to like pay your bills and everything. Like this kind of game. And for this game, I would like accept requests. But usually it's like around the teams of like, I give it a theme, you know? Hey, give me a VTuber or like Blue Archive character, and then I draw them. Something like that. And I have like, add like something out there. Add like something created there. Few things. But to be honest, I didn't really do a lot of those streams. Like the first stream went well, the second stream not so much. And then I was like, okay. It could be an algorithm or whatever, you know. But when an artist is like, hey, I'm gonna draw you, I'm gonna take requests, then usually I'm like kind of thinking, okay, you know, maybe people will like want me to draw them something, but then if they don't shut up, I'm like, you know, maybe I don't take requests. And to be honest, I did draw an X in the past. I did draw something like that. Like not my best work, not my proudest kind of art I've done. I think it was like from Regis Altair, like a fan art from HoloX English, the leader of the Tempest Guild. And he was like depicted sometimes as a psychopath, you know. And in Project Zomboid he would like wield the axe as a weapon. I think like in the group collab, the last group collab, with Full Tempest HQ, he was the last one to survive. He was like fighting a whole zombie horde with his axe there, and this was like kind of a cool moment. Then some kind of bug would happen, and then the whole horde would just disappear, or something like that. But he was still not a master in Project Zomboid. He would like switch his weapon to like, oh, Sledgehammer has a lot more attack, but because it was so slow and so heavy, it would like train a lot of stamina, you know. And you didn't have any more to swing the weapon. And when like many Zeds, you know, like a whole group comes at you, you like still in cooldown, you're like vulnerable to like being bitten or whatever. Are your viewers on Twitch? I don't really know, to be honest, and I don't really want to know. There are like some streamers who are like really comfortable on like knowing, oh, I have like I have only 0 viewers there, you know. Some people are like fine with that. Some people are like also okay if they're like 100, thousands of people watching them. I don't really know. For my case, for example, I have turned those kind of things off, like the numbers. Or at the very least, I set that on a way where I don't really know and see how many viewers I've like gotten. If they're like lurkers, like 100 lurkers, you know, I don't know. If there's only one gamer, I don't really know. I don't need to know, you know. I say you know like a lot. And as long as I... You know, they say like ignorance is bliss. And I think like there's a lot of truth to that. I can just like focus on like what I'm doing, like art, and just yap or whatever's like in my mind. And it's like pretty cool. Since drawing for me is just like a hobby, and yeah. But also there's a goal with that I want to draw every HoloLive member or HoloPro in general. So yeah. But once I like end the stream and then go back to like the tabs on like YouTube Live or like actually like YouTube Live or like the other thing I run it on, then I actually see the numbers on how many people have like watched it, you know, and then be like pleasantly surprised, be like, oh cool, there are a lot more today. Oh, today I hit like the average again or something like that, whatever, you know, like. For most parts I hit like the average, but... And I've always like thinking, okay, my art streams are like the weakest part, but you know, you have to keep that up. Your grind. Because like, the often you do like a thing, the better you get at it. There comes like experience. Like back in the days my art streams didn't really pop off. Unless I would like play some popular game, like Omori that brought me like... many viewers, many chatters, many subscribers in 1 month, within 1 month. My art streams were like not that hot. But nowadays, they do better than back in the days. So yeah. Which is also like cool. But in this kind of sense, I'd also see that numbers don't really matter, you know. Like, growth is inevitable. Like, you will grow. It's like not noticeable at first, you know, but there's always like progress, and there's like something with the algorithm as well. And the often you like do it, then it's like, oh, you do a lot of art, then I'm gonna push that kind of hashtags and stuff to like viewers who are more interested in that, and I guess that's how people like find me, I guess. Yeah, Omori live stream did like a lot, yeah. It's like a pretty popular game, and it aged pretty well. It aged well. I only played like one ending, but this was all I needed to know on like how the other ending would go. And it has a really powerful message. I thought like about this game a lot, but because I spent like my time thinking about that, I could like see if I did this or that, it could have led to a worse outcome where like the problems of the main character didn't get resolved. The inner struggle, the character development, it would just like not progress there, and then it would be like kind of like sad, you know, like unfinished business, running away from the issue, you know. And this was like something you kinda can resonate with. Like there are a lot of personal struggles in these games, like not my struggles, but like the struggles from like Omori, like the main character there. But with Hollow Knight as well, the numbers are also coming there. But yeah, I'm kind of talking about numbers, you know. But I was like really not expecting to grow that fast. I'm not really growing fast, but it was like faster than I expected, you know. I was like thinking, okay, it took me like about a year to get 100. Then it shall take like, I guess, 10 years realistically to get like maybe to monetization, you know. And I was like, okay, that's kind of okay. This should be like fine. But you never know where life takes you. Like, don't really know much about how I stream, but like going back to like Blue Archive, for example, I did like founded the new club, right? And to be honest, I was like thinking it's gonna be like a slow start, and I could like lead it alone, and I didn't really need help. But then there would be like those two dudes, you know, and they'd be like, hey, you made a new club, we want to help you. And then I got the help, and yeah. So basically you open the channel because you want some people to hang out with while doing your hobbies. I guess you could also like see it as that. They're just like relaxing and anything. But to be honest, I don't really stream at evening times. Usually I relax on my own. And if it comes like to... if I like wake up in the morning and I stream, I start directly off like with something productive and no brain rot, to be honest. Since when I draw or if I chat, you know, I'm not really like doing anything brain related. So like scrolling on social media, you know, TikTok, YouTube shorts, reading messages in like Discord, you know, I'm like away from that, and I can like be creative and like can think for myself, and all those thoughts are like coming up and I get them out, you know. And sometimes I'm getting surprised on like how in depth I can like at least like how much I can squeeze out of a topic, you know. I can talk for hours kind of, and I didn't really thought I had the ability of that since I was pretty introverted back then. I didn't really talk that much. I didn't really have many friends, you know. Like many artists, they are like introverted since like this activity you do like in a room, you know, mostly like alone and whatever. Nah, we love our toast. Nah, no, thank you. Sometimes I see like those people who are like streamers, you know, but have like attention or like have like some kind of boss position, that they're all like extroverted, outgoing, but sometimes you have like with those people who are like more, you know, keeping things more on the inside, those can also be like not that bad. And well, I have like a little bit of help there, but when I think like back about school, you know, group works, group projects, you know that? Group projects? I was pretty good at those. But the thing like how group projects are, it's not really like working as a group, to be honest. They just dump all the workload to one person. Group project, let's go. And I carried all of those back then. At the very least, not like when I was like younger, but once I like got out of like high school, I spent like about 1 year doing a little bit of a training arc on like how to write applications, how I did like my trainees and everything. And afterward I like picked like a job, like a blue collar job, did there like apprenticeship. And when there was like the thing where you're like getting taught not only like the art of like doing that, you know, like in person, like the execution, but also like the theory. There was like the school part with like the theory, and I would like be pretty good at like this kind of group projects. But to be honest, when I think about this, yeah, I guess like only when like once I got older, I really excelled at that. Had to do some points in my life. Oh yeah, I was in one group of lazy ass people, and I did 5 people's worth of stuff in a week. I slept like a log for 2 days. Oh my gosh. Yeah, group projects, am I right? But I bet that sleep was like that sleep. The 2 days long of sleep was like pretty good. The longest time I ever had was like about 1 day. When I had like the C virus, when I caught that thing. This is where I slept the longest time. And if Destiny went like a different way, I would have slept forever. And that day I felt like I was dying. And I contacted my family about that I got the virus. I think they gave me I don't know, did they send me the same day? I don't know anymore. Or the next day? Really sure. But I think I like contacted them when they sent when my little brother came and gave me medicine. I think the medicine carried me there, I don't know. But if I didn't receive that and went just like to sleep, maybe I would have slept forever. Don't know anymore. I learned a lot from it. Cool. At least you get some knowledge from doing anything. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, once you F around and find out, this is like where you get the most amount of like knowledge. Not knowledge, but like wisdom, you know? I think like for me, it's not really like knowledge or whatever, or like being smart, but it's like mostly like wisdom that's carrying me there. Like, let's say my int stat is like not that high, but my wis stat, that is high. Since I really like F'd around when I was like a youngster. Nothing is worth your efforts. If it means you get a lot of damage from it. Yeah. I spent like a lot of time in that aspect as well. Where the workplace I was at, like in the blue collar job. Like when I was trained, my masters and teachers there, they're all good people, you know. But when I would go from there to like working, the environment like changes there as well. And it's not the same for everything, you know, like that life can't always be this optimal, there will be like struggle and everything. And the people that I encountered, they were not really humans. Not in the sense that they're like aliens, you know, and are like demons or whatever, but they didn't really have like the human respect for like their new workforce, you know, that like joined in. And that you get like used like a tool or whatever. And I was really patient. I was really patient to endure that for so long. But what sometimes gets me is like when people are like at the beginning like all friendly, all buddy, you know? And this makes me lower my guards. And afterwards they behave like assholes, you know? Like those kind of people can be good friends, but not good co-workers or like bosses, you know? Leaders or whatever. Like there's the work side and then there's like the buddy side, you know? And this doesn't really like went well, you know? And it was like I was the new guy, they were like the experienced guy, so like my senpai, and I was like kohai, you know? And phew. I also refused to join another group project that they assigned in school. I got an F and failed, but I kept my health, which in the end it looks like a profit for me. Fantastic. All buddy? Nah, I mean like those people who like behave like, you know, like goody two-shoes and be like, hey, I'm your friend, if you need any help you can go to me. Something like that in a sense. And they would like try to pick up like conversations up with you and like be extroverted, you know, like outgoing and like friendly. And this is like usually like before work or like during break, but if it's like during work they have like a different side. And they get like stressed, they can get stressed, they can get like frustrated, angry, and you can see that in them. And when they let it out, they can let that out. And they did that like often enough that I, you know, who's like introverted, who's like more sensitive to like those kind of cues, it's kind of like, yeah, I guess like it's not gonna work with this guy. But he still like keeps that mask up, but you know, I can like see through it, and it's like, you know, but at the same time I don't want to speak up on that, and it's like, yeah, I have like too much HP, you know? I endure like those bad situations, like being yelled at or like whatever, like for way too long. And sometimes they're like, hey, what's wrong? And I'd be like, dude, you didn't notice that? And then yeah. But there was also like a little bit of immaturity from my side as well, that when I had a problem, I didn't immediately go and like report it, you know, since it's kind of like the kind of after effect of like being a guy, being a man, you know, that, oh, man, don't show emotions, man, don't need help, you know, and it's like kind of like, maybe this was like also like my pride, toxic masculinity like there in me. And that I really like refused on like getting help, you know, like the same way like how I carried my group projects alone, like if they don't do that then I have to do it, you know, something like this kind of sense, that you see like responsibility in your actions, or like for like everyone else, but mainly like for yourself, you know, that it's like kind of your motivation that pushes you. Like being the better guy. And I was like thinking, okay, if I like keep enduring that and don't say a thing, maybe I'm the better guy, but in the long run it didn't really like help that much, you know? It's like that you take a can of soda and you shake it, shake it, shake it, and shake it. and at some point the can will just boom, explode. And this like happened with me. I got really angry. Erupted like a volcano. And then from there on I like quit the job. And this was not only at one workplace but at multiple. When I really can't like see a way on like how this can work, it will like mostly end up this way. That people like they are like immature, for example, and those are like people older than me, you know. But to be honest, I learned like a lot from that, and I've a lot of wisdom. I matured from there also as well. So if I had like an issue, I would like tiptoe along like around it, you know. Try to be like, don't try to cause a problem, you know. Be like awkward or whatever. But if there really was like something, then yeah. But if I also did a mistake, I would be like, okay, my bad, and move on, you know. Like most of my days, like afterwards, I have a lot of freedom, but also with that freedom comes like a lot of boredom. But this just shows that you're like free. But there are always like pros and cons, of course. Like if you choose like a career, you can have a good job. There's like, you know, good job, good payment, good atmosphere, you know. Like that the atmosphere is like around the people who work there, that the community is a good one, you know. But you can't like have all three at once, you know. My case is like good job, good atmosphere, but the payment is like not that great. Let's say it's like about average. So I'm not really like, you know, like if you have a job you can spend on gacha games, it's like kinda cool, but I have to be like thoughtful about how much I spend, also like the thing. So I don't really know, am I a kyatto, am I like a whale? Like I say like I'm a whale, I mean I'm expending, but yeah, I can't like spend so much. It's like also the thing. Now whatever. I think like once you are not considered as free to play anymore, then yeah, then it's like all the same. So let me read the chat. I'm like reading it silently, but let me read it out loud. You get to see all kinds of people. I don't really have what to call friends, only colleagues. Although that's not always a bad thing. I prefer no one than many fakes. Okay, fantastic. I mean, I'm like in the same kind of pool, but I'm not really sure, you know. How do I continue there? Like, it's always better to have like people you can rely on, you know, like real friends. There are like some red flags you can like see and like, okay, they're maybe not the real one, you know. Comes like with experience at some point. But if, let's say, if you have been the kind of guy who has been bullied, you know, then you can see that especially like really well, like those red flags. It's okay, it's all fair, learn for experience, always a plus. If you can carry yourself on your own, then I think you are free to do whatever you want. Not to judge for anyone for what they spend. I mean, that's good, that's good. At the same time, when people overspend, you know, like when they do like the declarations, you know, like we can do like L plus ratio. Like when they post like information outside there, let's say like this one meme. I can't pay my rent, please help me my finances. And that would be like, okay, per month. Food, 100 bucks. Rent, 350 bucks. Electricity, internet, whatever, 100 bucks. Gacha, 2k bucks. Cut out the gacha. No. Like, you know, if people have a problem and when there's a glaring problem, you know, they want help or whatever, you know, they want like some kind of interaction, answer to that, then I will judge. If they dig their own grave, then I will help or like, you know, like join in. You know, it's like, it's kind of JoJo meme, you know, where like two people kicking out down on one person. And there's one guy sipping tea, stands up, then joins into the torture, you know, joins into the kicking down that one guy. Sometimes I'm like that. But sometimes I do have the judgment on like, maybe I shouldn't like, you know, I shouldn't do that. The guy's already down. I'm not a monster to like go even further. Sometimes maybe just be like, okay, Tosan, I know you're typing, but chotomate, think about it, you know? Just shut up and go back and if you feel like that about roasting this guy in 15 minutes, still, then join in. If not, then don't. Something like that. The way I'm like in speech, you know, in speech and like via texting, it's like kind of like different. I don't know, like you know, like how I sound, and I give like a certain vibe off. But if I'm like texting, it's either I'm keeping like in a way where I collect information and like it's just like communication, you know, be like are you home yet? Can you buy me this? Dinner is at 7 p.m. You know, something like that. Like with no emotions, no emojis, it's just like giving like a heads up, whatever. I'm going to be home in 5 minutes or something like that. No, it's like mostly like that. But if it's like social media, you know, in like a group fashion, I don't know. Sometimes I have the urge to like destroy someone. Maybe because of like the boredom, I don't know. But I don't know really. Maybe it has been like all the anger that has been like stored inside of me. I don't know really. I wonder what's your first language? Like English is not my first language. German is not my first language either. Your English is ASMR with that accent. I know, right? Like a lot of people like told me that, and I mean, I don't really hate my voice. I do think it has like its benefits there, and I did get a lot of like female viewers recently. Or just in general. Once I went like to English streaming. When I was like more in the realm of like German streaming, like mostly on Twitch, yeah. It's not an insult. I mean, I do know that it was not. But it's just like, maybe it's not the accent, I don't know. But I'm really good at like adding bass to my voice, and that's like what people like find comfortable. And if I speak especially like slowly and like more calmly, then it works especially well. But I think this vibe I can only bring really out if I'm like morning to sun, like when I wake up, you know. And if you freshly wake up, your voice, like my voice, is like usually a little bit deeper, or like more bassy, I don't know. Like some people say I have like a deep voice, but it's not really a deep voice. It's just like I can add bass to it naturally on command. No, thank you. And good luck for tomorrow. Or rather than luck, I wish you like success in the exam, since luck is like from short duration, so have like something long term. I do like to wish people success, rather than like luck. It sounds like better in German though, than in English. You know, like Shakespeare is like really envious of like the Germans, you know, since the vocab is like so big in the grammar of the German language, gives you a lot of room to like twist and spin your words in a way that you can, like, you know, like how I said, that you can tiptoe around an issue, you know, but you can also at the same time be direct, you know, like the German language is like very versatile. And Shakespeare was like pretty envious of like German language on like the terms of like writing poems to like rhyme and leaving like hidden messages here and there. And in German language there's like a lot of that stuff there. I read like a lot of books, and and thanks to that my vocab and everything is like also really fantastic in that aspect. But since it's like an English stream, what does it matter, you know? But with like those English streams, keeping the stream mostly, sometimes only in English. I would like to keep it only in English. I would like to reach the same level, you know, like of eloquency. Even like when I know that the guy who's like chatting with me can speak German, I default into like English, since I'd be like, dude, my German is like maxed. I don't need to speak it anymore. It's already capped, you know. Let me like level up English a little bit more. So like keep it to English, you know. But at the same time, when there are people who want to learn German, you know, and I'm gonna use German, you know. I have like a Japanese friend who's like he is studying in Germany and needs that for be able to do like doctor study or whatever. I think something like that, like and when I was like asking, hey, do you want me to talk to you in German or like English? And when he wanted to have the German, I was like, okay, let's do it like that. Since if you surround yourself with like people who can speak German, then your German gets like better, right? Same way, like if you want to learn Japanese, surround yourself with like an environment that where you have to speak Japanese, or like constantly exposed to it, you know, like being in Japan itself, being forced to like use your vocab, whatever. I say like that English in German is not my first language. But what is my first language? Let's say I don't know how to speak it anymore. I mean, I can pick up on like some words, you know, but then I can't speak it anymore. There's also a time where I like study a little bit of Chinese as well, but I also like can't do much anymore. I can do like the basics, you know, like things like 你好 我叫多桑 you know, something like that. Can do say like 谢谢不谢 you know, like 晚上好晚安今晚啊耳朵小声1 2 3 you know, those kind of basics, and all basics, like things that you can pick up when it's like being spoken out, you know. I think like the pronunciation on like Asian languages, you know, those are like really interesting. Like Japanese is like, I don't know, it's like, I do like the culture of that, like how they speak, you know, like high pitch and whatever. Oh yeah, also there's like Bing Chiling, right, the ice cream thing. Bing Chiling, I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's like kind of a meme. There was like a phase where I like wanted to really like study that the Chinese language, since I was like a fan of Jackie. I still am, but I still like Jackie movies and like that, you know, hard work, discipline, this kind of thing. I do like people who work their asses off. So I kind of like wanted, okay, if I have the opportunity to like meet him one day, then I can like flex my Chinese and then ask for an autograph, you know. He seems like a cool dude. But nowadays, you know, I don't really have much of a reason anymore. But since he can also like speak English, it's like not that great, but if I want an autograph, it should be like good enough. Just need the opportunity to meet him, of course. But yeah. But this was like a phase when I was like a teenie, you know, where like my entertainment media was like mostly like Jackie Chan movies. I was like living in a time where I didn't really was allowed to like access the internet. So most of my entertainment came like from TV when there's like weekends. Like things like smartphones existed and everything, yeah. But it was like the time where it like only got invented. I still would have had like my old ass Nokia phone there. You know, like those the cell phones, like not like smartphones, but like cell phones, you know, where you can like play Snake and things like that, like Tetris. And those games were like back of it. They didn't have like a soundtrack playing, you know, when I play it, but just like the sound effects of like whoop, whoop, pew, you know, like you know, some things like that, like pretty simplistic, but it was like kind of, it was not kind of, but it's like peak back in the days. And it's like kind of surprising, you know, like how much entertainment it can give you still. And when you were like so bored and had like a lot of free time, sometimes you try to speedrun it and do like some crazy techniques or whatever, and actually did those kind of stuff. There were like some platformers there on that, and like some pseudo Tetris kind of game. So my skills in like being platformer and then like puzzle games got like better. And it becomes a little bit of like troubleshooting, you know, and like finding out what the issue is, like and if I have to have free time, I'm like forced to do that, you know, no exposure to brain rot or anything, then yeah, I can get creative there. Like if you give me like a kind of rule set, like a sandbox, you know, with things to play at, and then as a gamer I do like know what to do there. I think like Dr. K, like Heavy Gamer GG, they said like something along the lines that like gamers like pretty good at problem solving, and it is like true. It is true that they can do that. But yeah, regarding my Japanese, like for example, like I'm getting better at it. I did like some listening comprehension and on like N5, N4 and N3, and surprisingly I did understand everything when they like speak their Japanese there, like even the conversation. Like if they speak like a little bit faster, you know, like faster paced, it's get difficult, but if I focus on the conversation, you know, like how you usually do it, you know, when you talk with someone, that you listen to them, and you can follow them. I can follow them actually. And I think I'm like kind of able to like speak structured sentences. Like the way I learn is not via textbooks. I do like this kind of immersion learning, you know. And Anki, of course, that I like study like new Japanese words or like kanjis each day. I think like I reached a count where I learned like about, how many is it already? 1,200 words. Or was it 12,000? I'm not sure. Let me check. Where's my smartphone? Okay. Statistics. How many was it? Each day I review like about 100, 150, 150 words, kanjis. And total is like 11,959. So like almost 12k. Gosh. I know 12k Japanese words. But I'm kind of like not confident, you know, in like, let's say if it comes to conversation, but maybe like if I expose myself more, but I can slowly build like structure like sentences. guess like what else? Also like the thing with, how you call it? Like reading, right? The thing is like, if I do immersion learning, I just listen, you know? And I necessarily don't know like how the kanji is written, but I do know like the pronunciation of the kind of that one word and the meaning of it. And that alone is like enough for me to like follow the conversation. Even if I don't know how it is like at first, I can like look it up later. Maybe like open up Google, pronounce it, you know, like say it out clearly, and then they give me like something of explanation. I think like EBK, I still didn't know like what that meant. But to be honest, when you read like a book, that's, you know, and there's like one English word you don't know, doesn't really matter that much. Once you're like done with the chapter, maybe like check on like what that was actually means, and then yeah. As long as you got like 99% done, 90%, like the majority of like the story, it doesn't really matter if you just don't understand that one word. But like with kanji, you know, like Japanese language, sometimes it's like really crucial in like knowing the context of like the story. And also like you know, I say like tiptoeing, like dancing around a problem, around not coming like to the point. Japanese is really much like that. And if it comes to like story writing, it can be really deep, you know? To be able to like recognize those expressions and understand them. My Japanese right now is like pretty basic. Pretty much beginner level. Could like say that. But I see like more and more like how difficult this can be, like trying to study the language. It will take a while, but if I'm able to like hold up a conversation, it's like, let's go. Maybe if I can read something, like just if I can like play Japanese games at this point, without relying too much on like textbooks, or like not textbooks, I don't really do textbooks, but you know, like dictionaries, you know? If I can do it without, this would be like fantastic. I kind of like learn Chinese, like I try to learn Chinese this way, you know? Pull up a dictionary, try to learn the words in there, even yeah, but it's not like really ordered like in an app, you know? Like that it gives you the easiest first and then the hardest like slowly and steadily. Like that's like how you should progress if you want to learn something. That you slowly start a foundation or understanding and then work up from there. Okay, I need to color the horns. The second layer for that. Yeah, Asian languages. It's also like interesting how Korean sounds. Like at first I was kind of turned off by it, if I have to be honest. When Japanese can like sound like soft. And I like this when the opposite comes in. Like Korean is like pretty strong language, then it can like throw you off. But the more and more I got exposed to it, I kind of was forced to at some point. And it really didn't really like bothered me. It's when I like watched Squid Games, for example, since you know, the raw emotions, expressions, they were like real, you know. And then at least like the actors did a really good job. Then yeah, I felt like okay, it feels better that way. Like to have it like the original dub. Like I always have like original dub whenever I watch a show. And it was like not so bad. And to be honest, you can speak in a more softer kind of way in this language, but just like not that usual, since like Korean's like usually a strong language. Like some people would like say German is a strong language, you know, but it's not really. It's like a pretty it is like Shakespeare, what Shakespeare was like envying there, you know, that there is like a lot of layers there, that you can be like, that you can tiptoe around something. You can be direct there too, but what's mostly like praise about the language there is like the versatility of that. And if you want to learn the language, it gets like kind of frustrating. Like in English there's only the for like the article, right? The. But in German there's like 3 different variations of that. It's not like optional, they're like a must, you know. You can't like use the wrong article for like a noun. Sometimes a verb as well. Even sometimes you get make fun of that just for doing this mistake. Not sometimes. Like back in the days when I was a kiddo, I would roast you for that. Maybe this comes from there. I would be like a little bit of a... I had something of an elite mindset back in the days and be like, haha, you can't even do that. I was kind of the equivalent of like, you know, pointing at people, be like, haha, and call you a bald prick or whatever, you know. But nowadays, you know, I'm kind of tired. Nowadays I'm kind of tired. But back in the days I had like a lot of energy and I would do all of the stuff that I thought was like funny and like fill up my boring days. It was like kind of it was pretty refreshing. The last time I can enjoy it, all I can like do is like looking back. I'm like pretty much an old man, but not really. But things are really great. There's certainly like some things I could do better. I think I would like leave it at that. Since you know, like the times where you're not really like addicted to the screen, actually those times were like the best. Of course, like the humanity is like evolving and everything, and then we have like a lot of entertainment media there and apps that gets like invented, but those things hold you back by a lot. like Gen Alpha, like my siblings, they're struggling with that. And my parents are too boomer to like be able to understand and like help them out there. So I gave my father like a book for his birthday, and that can help him on like you know, like raising kids who are like addicted to like screens. Issues like my father's first language is not German and also not English. He's like kind of grabbing both. But the conversational skills are there. It's like good for conversing. But if it comes like to business, learning, like all the complicated vocabs, it's like a little bit more of a struggle. I'm not really sure if I can trust him. But at the same time, he was a disciplined guy. Like some parts, some good qualities I had, like I have in me, sure are like in him too. I'm like, you know, Dad, I'm trusting you. Can do it. I got you all what you need. Now you have to pull it off. Oyaji. Yeah, something like that and everything. Okay, I don't like the line weight here. Need to like fix a little bit in there. And need to add like some effects so that it's like looking more derpy. I don't think it's like horrible, but it needs like improvement a little bit. Like weight. Maybe make the horns a lot more bigger, but I think like it's too late for that now. Working with what I have. Work with the hand you've been dealt with. So it's like almost 2 hours in. I need a little bit more, but then I should be done. By then I should be done. Usually if I like draw the character, I do like to talk about the character I draw. But this time I didn't really do that. I have to like repeat that, huh? I have to like pick up for it, right? So Lapchan, HoloX. When they got announced, this was like not months in advance, weeks in advance. It was like announcement and trailer and everything. They just got out of... Okay, they got like trailer, but the thing is like, it was on a short notice. Like few days before it. Then like, holy crap, and then on short notice, a lot of people showed up. Like, a lot of people came for the debuts, and it was like abnormal with the number count. For Recloss, for example, we got like announcement in time, like weeks before, a week before, and everything. This was like properly done, but they got like less than them, you know. And HoloX is like the latest Hololive gen. Technically, it is like EN or like Hololive device Recloss, but you know, the way they make it like work is that EN, ID, Hololive, Hololive device, HoloStars, HoloEN are like all different entities, you know. So technically, HoloX is like the latest one, and this one got on another short notice, and it is fantastic. And like with Laplus, I love her. Hello Brandon, welcome to the art stream. I'm drawing right now Laplus Darkness from HoloX. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, Laplus. She has so much charm. There's so much charm about her. And I think if she would do voice actor work, she will do fantastic. Like, I like her voice. Like what she put out in her debut. But of course I watch her afterwards a lot more. There's like something that keeps pulling me back in. I don't know. She has so much charm. It's like the only explanation I have. Really. Kazo no Mexeo! Yes, my dog! I would like really go along with that. And you know, be like the kind dad or whatever. She's like a brat. She's spoiled and everything, but no, I really want to spoil her, you know? I really want to give her all the sweets or whatever she wants. And this is like the thing that it's like she plays her role so well, I must like say. But even if she is like not in her role, you know, but like her usual self, just like a thing I like about her as well is like when her genmates talk about her, she seems like a really good person. Like her room, for example, not tidy up and everything. Everything's like kind of a chaos. But if people need like help or whatever, she puts themselves above her, you know, before even though she's like kind of the leader kind of position. But like wannabe kind of. Maybe she's just like, oh, the mascot actually. And then the others just tag along because she's so cute. I don't know. Like they're like the secret organization who are like planning to rule the world, but actually don't do any progress in that. Actually, Kiara and Ina, they are like pretty close to it. I think I can't like miss opportunity. Maybe if I made the face like that would be better, but then I miss like the charm of the eyes. It's like the thing, kind of dilemma. Will not be able to pull that off. Maybe make it slimmer. This gives like a whole new vibe as well. Those are like circles, but and if I play a little bit around, like and then give her blush and everything, it can work out. Let's try. Da 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 da. But at the same time, even though Lapchan is like cute and spoiled, at the same time like a really pretty nice person. I do like her derpiness as well, like when she fangirls on like Toa, you know, Toa-sama, and it's like about the ASMR thing, or like wants to be dominated or whatever, like showing that she's down bad. I don't know, like this girl. It's like so fantastic. And then when she had like her like a live 3D concert, and I think like this was her birthday, whatever. But like the people she was collabing with, the way she's like the way the delivery. She's comedian. She's a comedian. She knows like what she's doing. She's like, ah, gosh, this girl's genius. And while some of the things are pretty degenerate, she has like done, you know, I don't know, like, to accept it, everything. Because like in the end, like every weep, you know, every weep in the end, it's like similar. They see something in her that reminds them of themselves as well. They resonate with her, thanks to that. The cute appearance is a plus. Like the VTuber model is a plus. It's not really like a pull-in. Maybe it can be a pull-in, you know? Oh, I came for that, but I stayed for this in the end, you know? Like, similar to like a myth. I came like for, okay, English, and then they're cute. But in the end I stayed like for them. Because they are them, you know? No, like, no, I do like see, maybe you do understand that. Okay, no new chats. There are like some things there I haven't responded to, but sometimes I do not need to respond, you know? There's like a moment where I'd be like, yeah, maybe not. Sometimes I really have the urge to like say something, but there's always a time and place, you know? There's always a time and place, those things. Of course, some people be like, say it, but no, I don't want to. Sometimes there's like this tingling, the experience, wisdom in me, and be like, and then there's like this meme there. No, I don't want to speak. If I speak, I'm gonna be in trouble. Gonna be in big trouble. Like the way I'm real life and when I text, I sometimes have the urge to like roast someone. Like back in the days, especially like when I was like a kiddo, I would like do the point and laugh and then like roast someone. But the older I get, the more tired I am. But if I have to roast someone, then I go all out, you know? Like not the funny haha, but like actually, you know? Like someone has to suffer always. And it's like kind of, maybe it really is like the anger in me. Maybe I'm like the average Japanese person, like in the end. You know, where they like tolerate a lot of things in the day, like they endure. And then online, they have no filter anymore. Guess I want to research that a little bit. but in the end I do understand like the core message. It's just like, why exactly? I mean, yeah, of course, like during the day you experience a lot of BS and then you let it all out like via that. It's like similar to like the Monogatari, you know, like with the cat girl there, for example. Like this kind of negative emotion manifests in like this kind of way, which is also like interesting storytelling. Things manifest. How Hanekawa, right? That's how the girl was called. It's been like a while since I watched a Monogatari. You know, like with the order and how you like watch the Monogatari, right? I was like thinking, okay, order after release date, and then watching this order. But when there was in the middle, he's a Monogatari, a movie, and I was like, okay, if I have time, but I never like really found time to like have 90 minutes, 2 hours like in a day like straight. I need like those episodic kind of things, and then my die-hard fan would be like, this is the order how you read it, how you like watch it, and then the film is optional. Just watch the series, and then be like, okay, maybe I have a reason now. But since then I haven't like really like continued. I think like it has been like 3 years, 4 years, I don't know, since I consume anything with Monogatari. Oh, I'm sleepy. It's like now 12 AM. Gosh. I focus on like yapping, not drawing anymore. I didn't multitask, holy crap. This is bad. Ja, bye so. Ja, bye Kore. I should do both things at the same time. Well, let's do these things pretty quickly and call it a day. So this is just gonna be a lazy Laplus in many senses. In many senses. She's like a derp. She's like derpy. She's like derpy and everything. But she's like really real. And when it comes like to gamer moments, it's like oh, she's so relatable. I don't know. There's like a lot of things about her, like the cuteness, the voice, how she looks like, the role play she's like doing is like spoiled little brat, but also like how real she is, you know, or like when she gets excited, she's like not hiding anything. She's like herself, but also like sometimes not herself, just like playing the role, like, you know, she's professional. And also like a really decent person, from what her chatmates like, if I can like trust that, which I will do. I have blind faith. Blind faith. Ah. Oh man. You know, if they were VTubers. But I will. You know, if I have like a person I like, you know, then there's a possibility to like meet them. Like Jackie can meet at some point and I get autograph, right? But with VTubers, you don't really have the authentic experience. Okay, there's like meet and greets of VTubers, you know, when you talk to them via screen. But how the hell do I do this with her, you know? There's like sometimes the urge, but at the same time, don't meet your heroes. Never meet your heroes. You can get disappointed. I'm gonna leave it like that. I think. Well, I don't know. The line weight, I'm not really satisfied with a lot of things there. But yeah, I hope that like regarding Laplus, that she gets like a lot more outfit updates. Like her kimono is like not bad, her yukata one. It's like pretty much like her, a lot of like Laplus printed on you know, like the kimono. I was like thinking, okay, maybe Crony, because she's like, oh, I'm so amazing, and yeah, I'm the greatest, you know, she's like narcissistic, she plays like this role, but Laplus does it's like just like one-upping her, and it's like, yeah, nah, she's the real one. She's the queen. And then her latest is like the more casual thing, but you know, I think like they're not really that great. It's like always like her original, you know, the first outfit that's like so canny and like so, it's like leaving an impact and such. And then she can like take off the big coat, big jacket, you know, with like long sleeves and everything, and show like what's underneath, and also looks like nice. And there's like a lot of good fan out of her, like with that or like without, you know. And she's like, oh, so cute, you know. Like this is like pretty much the first VTuber where I'd be like, oh, so cute, I want to spoil her, you know. And like, you know, and just like let myself be toyed with, and I like with a smile, like taking care of her, and she can be derpy as well, and whatever, like does whatever she wants, but I would like tolerate it, I guess. Like this is like maybe like one of the rare times where I'd be like, yeah, I mean, like I said, like I can be I'm like really patient. This is like pretty much a strength of mine, but I can explode, of course. But with her, I think like I can tolerate it really much, because like my love is like bigger than my hate or whatever, you know, that I like try to suppress. I think like that can like cancel that thing out. But okay, in any case, that's all been for now. It's like 12 AM. It has been like more than 2 hours, but it's like luckily not like 2 hours 30 or whatever. For me as a EU pro, this is like the best time to like clock out. Maybe not best, but like better now than never, right? In any case, thank you all for watching. I wish you all a nice rest of the day, evening, a good night, whatever time zone the world you all are. With that, I'm gonna say bye bye.